I'm just going to play you a video from Micheal or Carroll, an Englishman that I've been in contact with for a while now. He's written this book, Ascent of Man to God. And let me just play you this video. I just want to give you a small commentary on this. I think it's really important that you listen to this, especially if you're interested in the life of the church and if you're interested in the faith. Just have a listen to this video for a second.
Greetings, my name is Micheal Carroll. I'm from England, but at the moment I'm living in the beautiful city of Poznan in Poland, which basically nobody knows about particularly, but has probably got the most beautiful churches in Poland. There are 3 wonderful Latin Mass churches here, run by wonderful diocesan priests. And you know, everything in Poland is very good. But really I've come on here to say that really I've had enough of the charade concerning the traditional Latin Mass, and by that I mean those problems caused by internet influencers. And because that's all they are, internet influencers, they are not the be all and end all of the traditional movement. We have to remember that it's actually priests, bishops, archbishops and cardinals who are really in charge of the traditional movement. And we also have to remember that if there was anybody who was a layperson who was in charge of the traditional movement in terms of having ecclesial power to have some role, then that's Joseph Shaw, who's in charge of the Latin Mass Society of England and Wales, but also Una Voce. So I'm here to say that as a former representative of Latin Mass Society, which I put on a good number of Latin Masses with good attendance, nobody could ever take away my traditionalist credentials, that you're basically being sold a lie. And the lie that you're being sold is that Vatican II cannot be answered. And it's quite clear that Vatican II at its core can be answered, because I am the person who was given permission by a bishop to extract all the mystical theology pertaining to the 3 stages of the spiritual life from the documents of Vatican II, but also the Catechism, and also 100 years worth of papal documents, so I could have gone back 2,000 years, and also the writings of John Paul II. And what we discover is that the mystical theology, the terminology related to the 3 stages of the spiritual life, is present throughout the documents of Vatican II. And as a matter of fact, it's so prominent that it's absolutely crystal clear, literally staring you in the face, that this language is there. I've written this up in a book. I'm not selling it. I'm not plugging this, but this is just for the sake of argument, this is the Polish version, which is called Sabor Vaticanski II i Hermeneutica Deification, which is Vatican II and the Hermeneutic of Deification, because the 3 stages of the spiritual life is throughout the documents, and the 3 stages of the spiritual life lead to deification. And it's also where there was in Trent only 1 reference to contemplation. There is a good number of references to contemplation in the documents of Vatican II. So I'm saying this for the poor souls on the internet who are trapped looking at the internet, who have no peace, day by day looking Facebook, Twitter, blogs, but the worst of all, terrible internet influencers who think that they have some control over the Latin Mass, and they have no control at all. And I feel sorry for these people who are confused in the church, because the one thing we know about the 3 stages of the spiritual life is this is how the divine order is restored. The divine order is restored at union with God, and this is how we put back this is how we go back to how Adam was in the Garden of Eden, and no mistakes have been made. With this, I've been told that the first reading for Nihil Obstat and Informata from a highly respected Latin Mass friendly bishop, one of the best in the world, there's no doctrinal error, was recorded. I've got professors in England and Poland who are in agreement with my findings, and it goes beyond that as well. Anybody who's got any theological training has said that this is correct, and that the terminology that I've extracted on the 3 stages of the spiritual life from Vatican II is real, that everything that I've said is correct. And the reason I'm just saying this today, and I'm not going to say much more, is because there are poor souls literally addicted to the internet. They go to the Latin Mass, they've got no peace. They go to the New Mass, they've got no peace. They cannot find out what the truth is. Well, today I'm telling you what the truth is. That there is a core message for the universal call to holiness, the message of union with God, Christian perfection, perfection of charity, contemplation being a keystone of the illuminative stage. And of course, when we talk about the 3 stages of spiritual life, we're talking about the purgative, illuminative and unitive stage. And the unitive stage is known as union with God. And is also known as Christian perfection, is also known as the perfection of charity, and is sometimes even referred to as the perfection of love. And before I finish, I just want to say that fortunately, before Vatican II, we did have the true teaching. And I would say that if the Latin Mass was healthy, this would be a very good bedrock for the 3 stages of spiritual life. And in the post-conciliar church, while there is much confusion and there is still much utilitarian teaching which cannot instill union with God, and the way it's been passed down for 2,000 years, but the notion that God is love is correct. So that they've got in the post-conciliar church the correct outcome, but they do not know how to attain this union with God, which really involves quite a strict purgative stage, an illumination which nobody really is talking about, and then union with God, which nobody really knows about. And there are some, and before anybody complains, there are traditionalists, commentators out there say we know about the 3 stages of spiritual life. What they really mean is that they've cobbled together some bits from Father Garrigou Lagrange, but they don't actually have any pastoral understanding of how this manifests in life, particularly in the lay people's life. And at the end of the day, they are basically at a loss. And the bottom line is that the traditional movement is not traditional, because it does not have, well, it might have a traditional mass, but unfortunately the traditional spirituality was compartmentalized from this liturgy and also the other teachings that have been passed down. And until there is a pastoral restoration of the 3 stages of the spiritual life with traditional liturgy, with the traditional teachings that pertain to magisterium, there is no tradition. So if you're told by internet influencers, and as I said before, that's all they are, internet influencers that are just after your money, then do not be fooled. Have your peace restored, because the 3 stages of spiritual life is in Vatican II. This has been proven, and I really don't have any more to say. I'm just going to enjoy my time, the rest of my time in Poland, of which I've lived there for a couple of years. And that's it, that's all I've got to say. So please, if you're confused in the church, have your peace restored, because there is good news coming. God bless, and thank you.
I just wanted to lend my support and my voice to Micheal's work on Vatican II, and because there has been some debate that has been growing over the last number of years on the council. And I think it's important that people read the documents to understand the documents, because some people are of the opinion, and there are some bishops that have said, oh no, it should be gotten rid of and so forth. but many people haven't read them. So I just wanted to lend my support to that. You know, you can have union with God. If you're going to the new mass and you're living the Christian life and you're going to confession and you're living in a state of grace, you know, you can have union with God. You know, you are living the fullness of the faith. It's really important that people know this, and that we don't divide the church and cause, you know, division and cause doubt in some people's minds. And this is a mammoth work. It's been completed over a number of years, an incredible amount of work, and I've spoken to Micheal many times, and I just want to lend my support to this. I'm going to leave a link to his books below, and if you have any questions and you want to challenge this work, please put them below. But I think it will take you a while to go through this study, because it's very, very, very deep. It's very in-depth. It's gone through all of the documents in Vatican II. It's gone through. I'll just read you out some of the stuff. The first paragraph here. This work illuminates key teachings concerning the 2,000-year-old tradition of the 3 stages and the 3 conversions of the spiritual life, as evidenced from Scripture, the doctors of the Church, mystical theologians, and the Summa Theologica. This evidence has consequently been cross-referenced with the documents of Second Vatican Council, the Catechism, and recent papal documents. As such, this work is emphatic in that it finally applies the authentic traditional spirituality of the Church Fathers into the life of the Church by answering Vatican II's call for Christian perfection. By finally cross-referencing the traditional spiritual language with the conciliar documents, it presents a true hermeneutic of continuity and the only solution to reignite spiritual vitality within the Church, and therefore the universal call to holiness. The 3 stages and the 3 conversions of the spiritual life are more than just a spiritual teaching. This is because it teaches us how to restore the spiritual order. That's in the introductory note. As I said, it's very well documented out, and I would challenge people to read it, because there is this notion people are being led down this path. Oh no, I can't be a saint unless I practice Christianity in such a way. If there's no traditional Latin Mass in my area, I won't go to Mass. Wow, what is happening? You know, I know there is some craziness and there's some confusion, but people need to think, you need to discern, you need to challenge, and not being led by one ideology or by another ideology, you know. And I really encourage people to read this book. Anyway, God bless you. Leave your comments below charitably, and you know, if you have any questions, we can reach out to Michael. We can delve into some specific topics. But I just wanted to kind of bring this topic into the channel, and because there is confusion out there, but you can be at peace. You can be a saint in the Church. You can have union with God, and by going to Mass and living the Christian life of perfection, you know, as saints have done in the past. God bless you. Take care. Bye bye.